Hi, again. So a Kundalini Awakening. What is it, and what was mine like? So, if you don't know about Kundalini, it's something a lot of yoga people talk about, or the people who do it for spiritual reasons, not just the physical health benefits. But so in yoga, the very ancient exercise art form. Well, it's not really exercise. It's about they're like retelling stories to keep their stories and legends awake, I guess. So in Hindu, the people that came up with it, the Hindis, well, something I should tell you is the game Shoots and Ladders used to be called Snakes and Ladders because it was the first game, or a very early game developed by the Hindus in the caste system to try and teach their youth about like ascension and the then the falling of shoots and ladders, snakes and ladders, like that. So back to what Kundalini Awakening is. Kundalini is a certain type of energy, not like prana. It's like only humans have it. Prana is something that pretty much everything has. Like grass has it, trees has it, air has it, water has it. That's prana. But Kundalini it always resides in the like base of the spine when you're born. Every human has it, or at least I think most do. Or I know, at least if all do, not all, not everyone has it activated in their lifetime. But when someone talks about Kundalini Awakening, that means they have it activated. So it's like a pet snake you have inside you at the base of your spine. And then, so it's sleeping your whole life, then once it gets awakened, it starts moving up the spine towards the head. And yeah, so Kundalini is, the awakening process is different for everyone, but it has a lot to do with nature and action, I guess. Like, I've read about astral projection stories, how most people who have an out of body experience have it um, spontaneously. Like, they aren't even thinking, they just go to bed one day and, like, when their body feels really heavy and they try to jump out of it, or I don't know, they just had this weird dream and they figure, I must be dying, because they don't know what it is. But, so yeah, I guess astral projection, spontaneous experience, happens when, probably after people have, like, some kind of dangerous, primordial, like, a nature experience that kind of has the same feeling or whatever, carries the spirit of like how humans lived in the I guess uh, Iron Age or Bronze Age, Copper Age maybe. So yeah, my Kundalini is activated. That's why I'm like so active and going through things. Like, once you have a Kundalini awakening, you'll know, because you want to move. You don't want to stay in the same place. Like, I guess it can be summed up in the phrase, don't be average, be savage. Because once you have a Kundalini awakening, you start to realize that there's so much more life, like, than just what you've been taught. You realize you've only been seeing the tip of the iceberg, or even less than that. Because, I mean, there are a lot of things in life that they don't teach you about in school, and, public education is worthless. Self-education, priceless. So, Kundalini Awakening, it could probably happen from meditating a lot. Exercise is always a big part of it. in my Kundalini Awakening, when it happened, humans, or at least ones who have it, they always have it, but it's not always, you're not always aware of it. Like it's there, but you just don't know it. So my story is pretty unique. I think I did it a little different than some people. When I was like 8 years old, or even younger than that, I was very dissatisfied with my family, or because I just felt really bored all the time. Like I knew there was more life than kind of what just my parents did. Like the same thing every day, and I didn't want to do that. Like I didn't get why are people like why they always do the same thing every day, and why they treat everything the same, because it's not like that. Like if you read an absurd play called The Bold Soprano, you'll get what I'm saying. How the English are unique in how they're boring. Like they think everything needs to be the same, and it's all very monotonous and tedious, and it's like everything. I kind of saw the world with a gray lens over my eyes, I guess. Everything looked boring, like. And I mean, I was in second grade at that time, and I was the shortest of all my classes, which that wasn't my favorite thing. Like some kids made fun of me, thinking they said I was gonna grow up to be a midget. So I was, and also like, even though I was put in some of the advanced math programs, or like the things that were for the gifted kids, I guess. Like I didn't always keep up with the rest of them. Like I didn't really feel comfortable in my skin, I guess. Like other kids were just more active, and I was kind of very reserved, and yeah, I'm an extreme introvert, which I'm trying to do away with that. And something else that'll come through. Oh, and I also have to tell you about the rest of my Kundalini Awakening. The big event was one day. It was near the end of school, I think May 20th, where I was feeling really bored, and I asked my dad about some certain toy, like uh, it was a toy car that you rode in, and anyways, he said like its battery was dead or something, and I couldn't. So I was frustrated. I was in the habit actually at the time of with my friend, we'd ride on skateboards on our backs, like street losing down my driveway, because I have a steep driveway, and like we were always smart enough to like position it so it definitely like roll in the lawn, so we'd end up in the grass and it'd stop. But then I guess me by myself, I kind of felt like I was definitely gonna. I positioned it this one time, and I said, okay, maybe it's gonna be safe, maybe not, and I kind of sat there for a while meditating and on it, and I I just had this vision of the good people in life are the ones who have problems, or like you get to top from going to the bottom, or like I just didn't want to be like everyone else. I said, okay, if I die, I die, and if I end up with a bad injury that I have to recover from, oh well, the world needs more weird people. That's why I like weird things, because I think the world needs more weird people, because it's all very boring, and luckily I survived from that. I did end up in a 3-week coma, and then I woke up from that and had to spend my whole summer in the hospital, and I was in a wheelchair for a while, but now I do yoga and Tai Chi, and I ski, and or I used to ski, and I walk. I have a dog. I walk, and I do martial arts, and do everything most people should do. That I guess normal things, and I run, play soccer, and yeah, do magic. Um, and what else about Kundalini Awakening? I guess you should know that um, it has to deal with wanting to be in energetically not energetically dense areas. So that's why I guess loners like to be sort of in very quiet places away from a lot of action, or why in my house like I got this feeling to switch I wanted to switch rooms because I was in I was sleeping in my old sister's room for a while, which was it was in the middle of the hallway where it's kind of crowded, I felt like. Then I wanted to move to my brother's room because he moved out, and his room wasn't getting any use, and I liked his room because it was farther away down the hall, at the end of the hall, and I thought it was just energetically less dense. Energetically less dense. When you go through Kundalini Awakening, I guess you start to realize like everything is just energy, and so it's all different representations of the same thing. And okay, this video is already long enough, so I'm gonna have to go. Okay, people, stay awesome, keep calm and carve on, and keep planning, and yes, go vegan if you want, and like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear your comments, and yeah, share, whatever. Bye.